Charles, you talked about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Spins past him. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. So now the Ravens getting ready for their first go on offense. They will be led out by the former Heisman Trophy winner back in 2016. Always a handful to contain, Lamar Jackson.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3. A look now at the starters on the defensive side for the Browns. They were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
And it was the pass rush that really keyed their victory. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks, and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Now a handoff here to his running back. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Not a productive opening drive, 3 and out, and more struggles for a team really that hasn't won a game in a long time.
It can be really discouraging for everyone else on the team, especially the guys on the other side of the ball that have to trot out there and see a little more futility in this losing streak. So I know coaches who look at these situations and say to themselves, let's be aggressive. Let's go for it right here and try and turn our fortune around.
The Ravens send their punter out now. He'll kick it away after a 3 and out on the opening drive of the game. This is taken at about the 14. Fights him off. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. And out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller.
And what I'm looking for from him today, the things every quarterback is looking to do. Lead his team to a victory. Doesn't matter whether he's throwing it, running it, handing it off, however he has to do it, as well as exhibiting some leadership, that's what he's trying to accomplish.
A look at the numbers for Geis a week ago. 14 carries, 73 yards.
And they've already clinched the playoff berth, so I'm eager to see how they approach this game because some teams' philosophy is to go ahead and get guys out. Other teams' philosophy, continue to do what you're doing best. I expect them to go ahead and use their top guys all the way through this one.
This is McCoy, and he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Geis. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. Defensively, here are the starters for Baltimore. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
One thing players always tell us is that they never really pay attention to numbers. I don't believe them for a second. They know where they rank, okay? They're not quite at the top, but they're far from the bottom. But let's face it, they want to move up. In order to do that, they've got to look at each other and make sure everyone's taking care of their assignments in order to play the run better.
And he's got Rodgers. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another 1st down. A couple of 1st downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down. They'll run with Geis. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Throwing Jones. It's caught by Davis. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down. Jones now throwing on 4th down. Completes it to Davis. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there. Back to the ground game now with Geis. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. We're scoreless after 1. On to the 2nd from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 10.
Here we go, D. Get off the field.
Throwing on 2nd down. Jones. They will find Davis. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 24-yard line. They'll hand it down to Geis. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
Got it complete to Rodgers. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the 1st.
It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down. They'll run on first down. Hines. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's Hines. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Looking to throw. Jones. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab as his guys are on the board first here tonight.
All drives that result in points hurt a defense, but when they are the sustained variety, play after play, and they just can't get off the field and stop them, that can be demoralizing.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups. Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Play action. Now Jackson. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. To throw is Jackson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but It's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Throwing on second and long. Jackson. That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Raven passing game getting in sync. Another first down. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around to make a play on the football.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Marquise Brown was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
Jackson's pass, intended for Marquise Brown, incomplete.
So they went to the booth to see if that was a touchdown, and they have decided it will not be a touchdown. 6 points off the board. Second and 10. Here's Jackson again. And he's able to find Wallace. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Jackson will throw again. He's got his man. That's Wallace. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. To throw again is Jackson. His pass caught at the 4. 3 yards is the gain that time. 2nd and goal.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? From the gun, Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Miles Boykin, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
the timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Under a minute to play here in the half. Time for a late drive.
It makes sense when you think about it. Hey, try and get a field goal. Give yourself a lead going into the half. But if you're going to do this, you better have supreme trust in your quarterback. Supreme trust in the guy who's going to handle the football. Because if you turn it over here, not only do you go in down at the half, you've given the momentum squarely to your opponent.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Hey, check Mike 57, Mike 57. Let's go, D.
Jones going to throw again. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
But he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
They went with the dive look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field as the season winds down and you look at them in totality. You know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football because, as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has helped them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change of quarterback, running back, tight end. It doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter. Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the 1st. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we'll head down to Orlando. That's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get our tour started out at Venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. And they are seconds away from halftime, all tied in that one. Next, we head off to check out another game. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the 2nd quarter. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the 2nd quarter. In the game you're watching, we've seen a strong first half out of Lamar Jackson. His guys lead, though, by only a point. It's been a tight one. As for the start of the 3rd quarter, we'll send it back to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the 2nd half of Week 17 is underway. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done.
Check three.
Back to throw. Jones. And Woods has it complete. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. Now Jones from the gun, he'll throw. He finds Beckett complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A pickup of 24. And that's where the play began, the 24-yard line.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Here's Jones on 3rd and 2. Rodgers brings it in. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Watch that in. Tight end right.
Now a give right side. It's Hines, and they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup. That one definitely helps as they try to push the ball down the field here, trailing early in the third quarter.
And even though they're trailing, not abandoning the running game. People may call it an adjustment. I think it's just much more sticking to what works for you and continuing to have faith in it. And the running game is starting to pay off.
And he'll get this down only to the 18. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. On 2nd and 9, Jones. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
And when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Down here in the third quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not, it's not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot. And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. They'll keep it on the ground. Dickerson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he can even get started. That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Now it's Jackson. And that is incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
The Ravens send their punter out now, standing just outside his own goal line. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. This is taken at the 18. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
An opening there on that first down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2. On the handoff, it's Geis. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Browns on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now Jones. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, there's a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter if it's man or zone. Deep ball, short ball. That was a deep one there. They're making plays on the football, contesting everything.
Well, being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
We'll see how they respond now.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to...
Blitz coming, and down he goes. And that'll be marked down as their first sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week, and this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back. And they did a great job in the first half. And now they've gotten their first sack here in the second half. Look out. They'll try to increase the pressure.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Had a chance to give themselves there some important wiggle room, but went awry.
Yeah, let's do the simple math here. And you know, for me, it has to be simple. Instead of this thing kind of giving them that wiggle room you talked about, now we're talking about possibly losing a ball game because they left the door open.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on fourth, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it. Be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
Well, we'll see what his offense can do. Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball,
You get a completion.
you get a catch,
Yeah.
but still,
No
yardage. Okay.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance, too.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. Jones now throwing on 4th down. And that is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, third down situation, big third down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jackson got his man there. It's Wallace complete. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. Jackson from the shotgun. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
That catch, number 750 of his NFL career, and it puts him even with not just one but two Hall of Famers, Michael Irvin and Charlie Joyner. So some pretty good company at 750.
Yeah, you talk about the playmaker, Michael Irvin, and the guy who just made plays, Charlie Joyner. And that's what we're seeing here. Similar style in terms of being dependable, being open, and turning it into plays that you remember.
Fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight one-point game. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. They'll look to throw. It's caught. Beckham. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 30.
And this is obviously a spot where you lean on your stars. Get the ball to them in open space and let them do what they do.
On first down, it's Hunt. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
Watch the screen.
And to give this time to the tailback. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Now McCoy. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. Ravens going to use their third and final timeout, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Well, we had a number of good games in the afternoon sessions, but this Sunday nighter might top them all. So we come up here on 1st and 10, and he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
All right, my man, this is now where it's risk-reward. Because on defense, you've got to crowd the line of scrimmage. You've got to get in all the gaps, get up tight on everyone, and try and force the field goal attempt here. You can't let them break one big, but you know something, when you crowd the line of scrimmage, if they do pop one, it's going to go a long way.
Yeah, I was going to say, could take it to the house, but the magnitude of this possible upcoming field goal, every yard counts. And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. This is Hines. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow, wow. So many practices we've watched over time where the offense works on scoring late in the game and finding a way to win, as we just saw there.
Just saw it right there. Now can they preserve that advantage that they just got? He's got it. And they will not go quietly as we are back to a 2-score game. So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
Jackson and the Ravens, here they come. Down 14-7, 27 seconds to go. Now their losing streak in danger of continuing as they come up on first down. He'll look to throw. Throws right side, and that's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. He's back to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. Well, we saw a close game that kept us on the edge of our seats down to that final whistle. And right before that final whistle, defense with one last exclamation mark there, getting the sack to end it.
I love how you phrased it, because we were waiting to see what would happen. Obviously, we thought something would happen downfield. Instead, it happens in the offensive backfield, and that's your ball game.
So for Cleveland, a final win here means they'll finish off the regular season at a solid 13-3. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they wanted desperately to finish at 500, but that won't happen, as it'll be a 7-9 season in the end. And they can take solace in the fact that this team never quit all the way to the end. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
Just wanna be her for your mom to your pop to the beat to the birds, man. Cut right off on the curb like I'm Barry Sanders. Chains on and the diamonds dancing. Game on, so it's time to go. When the rain starts, I'ma let you know. Name a squad that is better though than my